Just a minute, sure. Take your time. Drink some water. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I'm sorry we're taking so much time. But while we're at it, let's test that microphone. Can everybody hear me? Is it loud and clear?
Yes.
Clear? Yeah. Okay. Do I have to lift it like this? Is that more clear or?
That's better.
That's better? Okay. Inshallah. That's good. Are we ready to go? You remember how to record, right? Yeah, okay, good. Just make sure. Ready to go? Bismillah. All right, thank you for your patience, everyone. Let's start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wa afdalu salati wa atammu taslim. على سيدنا محمد سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وتقا وهدى يا أرحم الراحمين. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وإن خير الهدي هدي نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Solomon. Have you heard about King Suleiman? Okay, I personally don't know where to start from. When I was preparing this, I was amazed. I was shocked. I kept calling my mom, and I was like, "Hey, mom, look at this. This is shocking." So there's a lot of shocking things. You're gonna think it's fairy tales, but it's real. It happened. It actually happened. So where we left off last week, was that Dawood alayhi salam, he died. And at his deathbed, at his funeral, they asked Sulaiman alayhi salam to cover the sun because the sun was hitting them, so they felt a little bit warm and it was, hurting them basically. So they asked Sulaiman to do something about it, and he is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Sulaiman, he talked with the birds. He spoke with the birds, and he's told the birds, go and cover the sun, all right, with your wings. And then they said, okay, well, we are overcrowded beneath the birds, and now we're feeling even warmer, right? It's like very dry. So they said, Sulaiman said to the birds, okay, now I want you to cover one wing, cover the sun with one wing, and the other wing, let the wind blow. So they were able to have some wind and stay beneath the shade. And this was the first sign of his kingdom, mulkeh, kingdom, what he owned, what is he going to own. So Sulaiman became the king of the United Hebrew Kingdom, Al-Mamlaka Al-Ibriya Al-Muttahida, or as Western historians call it, the United Israelite, or the United Israel Kingdom of Israel. Right? We don't necessarily agree with that because this kingdom did not just include Israelites, it also included people who descend from Abraham, and Hebrews are based off the name of Ibrahim because he crossed the river. He crossed the river from Bilad al-Rafidain, Mesopotamia, to Bilad al-Sham, the Levant. So this is why he was called Arab, Hebrew. Also, they are called Hebrew because of their common ancestor, which is Hud alayhi salam. Do we know the Prophet Hud? Hud alayhi salam. His name is Abir as well. So they're called Abiriyin, Hebrews. So both Arabs and Israelites are called Hebrews. Both Arabs and Israelites. We're both Hebrews. Okay? So let's start the story of Sulaiman with something funny, with something that has humor, right? The stories of the prophets had lots of humor in it, lots of jokes, right? So Sulaiman alayhi salam, he was the Hebrew king who was able to enter Damascus. He was able to conquer Damascus and free it from the Canaaniyun. And when he entered Damascus, he was walking with his army, and then they found a bird, a male bird, and it was going around a female bird. So Sulaiman asked his army, he said, do you guys know what the bird is saying? And they said, no. ماذا يقول يا نبي الله? What is he saying, O Prophet of Allah? So Sulaiman said, يخطبها لنفسه. He is trying to let her, let them get engaged together. And he's telling her, if you marry me, I will give you whatever room in Damascus you want. أي شئت من غرف دمشق. I will let you live in any of the rooms of Damascus. And he said, Sulaiman, he said, however, the rooms of Damascus are made of rocks and nobody even lives there. ولكن كل خطاب كذاب. Each person who's trying to get married, he always lies in order just to get married. So, so that's a good beginning with the story of Sulaiman so far. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وورث سليمان داود وقال يا أيها الناس علمنا منطق الطير وأوتينا من كل شيء إن هذا لهو الفضل المبين. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Sulaiman inherited Dawood, because remember from last time Dawood was the king and he is the father of Sulaiman. So the inheritance here meant by him becoming a king, Sulaiman becoming a king. He can't inherit his money. Do you know that? Do you know why? Why can't Sulaiman inherit from Dawood? Prophets don't inherit from prophets. Not prophets don't inherit. The prophets, al-anbiya, the prophets and the messengers, when they die, they don't leave inheritance. Their inheritance is charity to all the Muslims. So Dawood, whatever he had from money, Sulaiman took nothing. Also, if the ayah meant that Sulaiman inherited money from him, it's going to be unfair, because Dawood did not just have Sulaiman. He was not his only child. Dawood had many children. So the inheritance did not go to Sulaiman. The inheritance was the kingdom. He inherited the kingdom. He became the king. He was the crown prince. He became the king, not with money. Also, the Prophet, as I said, the Prophet ﷺ said, "La nurithu ma tarakna fahuwa sadaqa." The prophets do not inherit, do not give inheritance to other, to their children, because if they, because it is sadaqah, it's charity. Brother Musa, I don't know what's going on there. All right. Did it close?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, that's fine. That's totally fine. It's okay. We can continue here in the live stream.
Okay.
Anyways, so where were we? So the prophets do not give inheritance to the people. Why don't they give inheritance to the people? Because they despise this earthly life. They think that الحياة أحقر من إنهم يفكروا من هيك شيء. You know, الحياة, it's very despisable. They don't think about something like this. You know? So, as I said, Sulaiman alayhi salam, he used to communicate with the birds. He did not only communicate with the birds, he used to also communicate with the jinn. You know the jinn, the demons? Not jinn from Aladdin, the jinn, the demons. Okay? Also, he used to communicate with other type of animals. So, this is evidenced by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, وحشر لسليمان جنوده من الجن والإنس والطير فهم يوزعون. The army of Sulaiman was composed of jinn, it was composed of birds and humans, and they were distributed among that. So one time they were walking. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل قالت نملة يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. So as I said, the army of Sulaiman was composed of jinn, birds, humans, different animals. Literally, he used to speak with animals. He used to speak with birds. You know the birds you hear in the morning, they're doing the sound, their sound. He used to speak with them. He used to speak as we speak. So they were walking one time through a valley. And while they were walking, Sulaiman hears an ant. You know the ant, the little insect. He hears her saying, watch out, the army of Sulaiman is approaching and it's going to crush you. They're going to crush you, so move away. So Sulaiman, he looks at the ant and he starts smiling. He was smiling because he was being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he was given this blessing, that he can listen to the animals and understand what they're saying. So some people say that he actually was annoyed with the ant because the ant spoke with the humans and such, but this is what people who, as Ibn Kathir referred to them, people who are without ilm, without knowledge, who say that. But in fact, Sulaiman was happy. Sulaiman also prayed for both his father and mother. Okay, his father is Dawood, and his mother, she was one of the people who would worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a lot. The Prophet ﷺ said, قالت أم سليمان بن داود يا بني لا تكثر النوم بالليل فإن كثرة النوم بالليل تدع العبد فقيرا يوم القيامة. The mother of Sulaiman advised him, do not sleep a lot during the night. Do not sleep, because if you sleep a lot, then during the day of judgment, on the day of judgment, you're going to be poor. Faqir, poor. You have no money. Think about that in the day of judgment. Okay, so one time, Sulaiman alayhi salam, he was walking with his army again. If you're asking why is Sulaiman walking with an army all the time, because he was a king and he was having battles with other kingdoms around him. Okay, so Sulaiman was walking with his army, and it was a drought. It was the time of drought. Drought. There is no water, there is no food. So suddenly, Sulaiman tells his army, back off, stop. So they ask him, what's going on? So he says, listen to this. Of course, they can't hear her, but he said, oh, it's an ant. And then he looks at the ant. The ant, it's raising its 2 arms. So ants have about 4 arms. Correct me. 4 arms. Science. Where's science? Biology. 3? 3 on each, 6 legs. Yes, not 4 arms, 6 legs. I meant 4 arms in the front. Was it? No, I'm getting confused with spiders. I see more spiders than ants. But anyways, you get the point. The front arms, okay, as you said, I think 3 on each, 6 total. Yeah, so they have their front arms, it's front arms. It was raising it to the sky, and it was making prayers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying, oh Allah, we are your worshippers. Because you know, the animals, they do tasbih to Allah. They worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're worshippers. So we are your worshippers, so please make this drought stop. So suddenly, rain starts dropping from heavens. And the reason for that was this ant. Sulaiman tells his army, the reason why the drought was broken, because of this ant praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have rain and stop this drought. Okay? All right. So, one time Sulaiman, was at his throne. And his army is very organized. The army of Sulaiman is very organized. All right. Each person knows his position in the army. Each person reaches and comes to Sulaiman each day at a certain time, certain place, and they let Sulaiman know about everything about the kingdom. He was a truthfully, where you call it, like mukhlis. He was loyal to being a king. And Sulaiman alayhi salam, he had what he called majlis. This is a majlis, right? This is where we're sitting together, we're talking. Sulaiman had something like this, but for politics, for trying to manage the kingdom that he has. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد أم كان من الغائبين لأعذبنه عذابا شديدا أو لأذبحنه أو ليأتيني بسلطان مبين فمكث غير بعيد فقال أحطت بما لم تحط به وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ يقين إني وجدت امرأة تملكهم وأوتيت من كل شيء ولها عرش عظيم وجدتها وقومها يسجدون للشمس من دون الله وزين لهم الشيطان أعمالهم فصدهم عن السبيل فهم لا يهتدون ألا يسجدوا لله الذي يخرج الخبأ في السماوات والأرض ويعلم ما تخفون وما تعلنون الله لا إله إلا هو رب العرش العظيم. So one time Sulaiman alayhi salam, as I said, he was among his council. All right. This is where everything starts to get exciting. So Sulaiman alayhi salam was among the council for organizing the country. And he's looking at his army. You know, the prime minister comes, the crown prince comes, the leader of the army comes, and then he's checking out everybody, and then he says, wait a minute, there's somebody's missing. Where is the hudhud? Do we know what's the hudhud? Hupu, right? H-O-P-O-O-E. Hupu? H-O-O-P-O-E, yeah. Hupu. Is that how you, yeah, hupu. So where's this bird? Where's this guy? And the task of the bird was that he follows Sulaiman and his army and checks if there are any water spots and digs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a good vision that he can see beneath the ground. So he digs beneath the ground and he gets water from it for the army. So he says, where is this man? Or the bird, sorry, he's not a man. Where's the bird? I want him for a task. So they said, we don't know. He said, you guys are a lot of people. Am I not seeing him, or is he actually absent? And he said, oh, he's absent. So if he does not tell me why is he absent, if he does not have a good reason for being absent, I'm going to punish him. But then suddenly the hudhud comes. And then the hudhud tells Sulaiman, I came to you from Yemen, from Saba. If you look at the map, where's the cursor? There it is. This is Yemen. And Saba is around here, I believe, around this area. So he came from here, and Sulaiman was in Al-Quds, Palestine. He came from all the way here to here. And he told him, I came to you from Saba with some good news, and this news is something you have never knew before. So Sulaiman tells him, what's up? What's the deal, man? Tell me. So the bird tells him, I found this lady, she's a queen, and her people, they worship the sun. All right? They worship the sun. They bow to the sun. This is what they consider God. And she has a beautiful throne, which is this one. the remaining of the throne of Saba is this. This is what's remained from the throne of Saba today. But this throne was covered with gold, jewels, ruby, everything that is beautiful and expensive. So he said, I came to you and I found this lady that she has this army. So this lady, her name is Balqis bint As-Sayrah. She married the king of Saba, whose name was Sharhabil bin Dijadan bin As-Sayrah ibn al-Harth ibn Qais ibn al-Sayfi ibn Saba ibn Yashjib ibn Ya'rib ibn Qahtan. So this man, and by the way, the people of Yemen, the kings of Yemen, they were known as Tababi'a. They were strong. And they were one of the strongest people on earth back then, like the strongest kingdom on earth. And they were huge, they were giants. In fact, do you know why the name Africa, why the name of the continent is Africa? Why is it called Africa? Because one of the kings of Yemen, his name is Ifriqis. And he gathered an army and he went to where Africa is today, Northern Africa. And he took over this land and he extended his empire to there. So if you look at the slide there, do you see this picture? Do you see this, the scripts? This language is called Khatt al-Masnad. This was the script they used to write Arabic in Yemen in the ancient times. And this script resembles the modern day Amazighi and also the Phoenician a lot, because the Khatt al-Masnad was distributed into North Africa because of this guy, Ifriqis. And his descendants took over, and it was named after this guy, Afriqa. And then because, you know, English, they don't have qaf, they said Africa. All right? So this woman, she married this guy. They're from the same family, the same royal family. She was, I believe, so his name is Sharhabil bin Dijadan bin As-Sayrah, right? So she was the child of his grandpa. So he married, who's that to her? To him? Let me draw it on the board. So the king is this guy, Sharhabil. Not really. And what was his father's name? His father's name is Dijadan, right? And there's a Sayrah. This man, he is the, and this guy has Balqis. Okay, so this man, who is the grandson of this guy, married the daughter of his grandfather. Right? I know, it's disgusting, because back then they did not care about that. Especially that they worship the sun. So, I mean, it's not a big surprise that they would do something like this. But anyways, Balqis married this guy. This guy, he was fasid. He corrupted in the land. All right? People did not like him. His people did not like him. So what she did, she's like, you know what? I want to be the queen. I want to be the only queen. I don't want him to be the king. So she gave him alcohol, wine. And he drank until he became drunk. And then she killed him. And then she grabbed his head and she put his head on the door of the palace, scaring off anyone who can challenge her, and also telling everybody, hey, I killed the man you guys hated. So they were like happy, and they considered her the queen of Saba. Okay? So some weird sources that Ibn Kathir and many of the scholars said it's not okay, it's not correct, said that the mother of Balqis, she's a demon. She's a jinn. And her name is Rayhana bint As-Sakan. But as I said, this is something scholars did not agree on. This is like few sources. Some sources they called Israelites, Israeliyat, you know. in which they took from the Torah and Injil, and those are Torah and Injil is muharrafa, it's corrupted. Okay, so here's the deal. Al-Hudhud told him about this woman, this lady. Sulaiman says, oh, so there is a kingdom not following the rules of Allah, and I am the prophet and I am the king at the same time, so I'm obligated to do da'wah. So Sulaiman tells Al-Hudhud, I'll write this letter. He writes a letter, and he tells Al-Hudhud, take this to Balqis. And he wrote, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. هذا كتاب من سليمان وإني أأمرك بأن تأتي إلي وأنتم صاغرون وألا تعلوا علي في الأرض. Okay, he's saying in the name of Allah, this is King Sulaiman, and I order you to come to me humbled and do not be arrogant against me. So the Hudhud goes all the way to Saba again. Let's have a map. Okay. Okay. So all the way to Saba, from Palestine all the way to Saba back again. And then he sees the queen. She's at her alone time in the palace, and he throws the letter to her. So she suddenly, it's like you're alone, like you're just mattering your business, and suddenly a letter comes from above you. So she opens the letter. So she calls on a meeting for the whole elite, and she's told them, إِنَّهُ مِن سُلَيْمَانَ وَإِنَّهُ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ أَلَّا تَعْلُوا عَلَيَّ وَأْتُونِي صَاغِرِينَ. Do not be arrogant and come to me. She read the letter of Sulaiman. So she said, what do you guys think we should do? So they told her, hey, we're strong. Yemen is a strong country. Hopefully, inshallah, we pray for Yemen today to become a strong country and have relief on Yemen, inshallah. It's a very beautiful country. It deserves the best. But they said, Yemen is a strong country. We have an army. We can go and fight them. Balqis knew this guy did not joke around. He means business. Like, if he's saying, come to me, be humble, don't be arrogant. If you try to fight me, I'm going to crush you. All right? You're going to see why he's going to crush them. So she says, no. Kings, if they come into a land and they conquer it, they corrupt in this land, and they're going to kill the elite and stuff like that. So we're not going to be in a good position. How about we send him a gift? So she sent him a gift. So the gift reached Sulaiman, and Sulaiman looks at the gift and he says, are you kidding me? Like, are you joking with me right now? Like, you're giving me a gift? So, just heads up, Prophet ﷺ said that 4 people ruled the whole earth, the whole world. They were the kings of the whole world. 2 were Muslims and 2 were kuffar. The 2 who were kuffar are An-Namrud and Nebuchadnezzar. The 2 who are Muslims are Dhul Qarnayn and Sulaiman alayhi salam. So this man, he actually ruled the whole world. Okay? So he says, I have everything I want. If I want money, I get money. If I want, I speak with birds. Like really, you want to give me a gift? Like, are you kidding me? What do you have that I don't have? So he says, okay, you know what? Listen to me. If you don't come to me, I'll literally bring you an army that begins in Jerusalem, in Bayt al-Maqdis, in Al-Quds, and ends in Yemen. That's like a huge army. So she gets this, and she's like, okay, no, this guy he's not joking around. Let's go to him. Let's go and make peace. So Sulaiman knows about this, and then he gathers his elite, the meeting, and the jinn and all of that, because again, he spoke with the jinn, the demons. And he says, okay, whoever is going to bring me her throne, who's going to bring me her throne before they reach me. So they're walking from Saba to Al-Quds, and they still did not reach Al-Quds. He said, whoever brings me her throne from Yemen, from Saba, who will bring me her throne from Saba before she physically is in front of me. So he wants the throne physically in front of him before she is there. So one of the jinn, he said, I'll do it before you stand up from your chair. But then one of the people, some said he is, his name is Asif bin Barkhia, who is the cousin of Sulaiman. Others said he is Jibreel alayhi salam. Other people said he's another jinn. Other people said he is one of the people of knowledge of Bani Israel. But the most agreed on is that it's his cousin, Asif bin Barkhia. He said, and look at this one, it's one of the wonders. The stories of the Israelites, there are a lot of wonders in it. He said, I will get you her throne. It's from Saba, remember, from Saba, from here to Al-Quds. Talking long distance. And during that time, they did not have cars or planes. He said, I will get it to you before, if you would send somebody to where your eye stops. So if you look at the distance, where your eye stops, where your sight stops, and he comes back, before he comes back, it's going to be there. He told him, before you even blink, before you blink your eyes, I'll bring it to you. And it was true. Before even Sulaiman blinked his eye, the throne was in front of him. So Sulaiman then told his people, change the throne. Don't make it look very familiar to her throne. And then she came to him. And he wanted to test her logic. And he said, hey, is that your throne? She said, it looks like my throne. It's not my throne. So what's the logic in this? She has logic because, if it was her throne, if she said, this is my throne, then it's not going to be her logic. How she left her throne in Yemen. How is it here? Right? She does not know about miracles yet. They're a miracle. So Sulaiman said, okay, listen to me. Let's make this easy on you. Why don't you just convert to Islam? I mean, you guys are worshiping the sun. It's the summer right now, right? Is there anything good coming from the sun? No, seriously, answer me. Is there anything good coming from the sun? No, right? It's getting hot. We're sweating. So you're worshiping something that hurts you. That literally hurts you. Okay? And if we talk with the sun, is it gonna talk back to us? No. Right? You try it out. Go in the morning, speak with the sun. People are gonna think you're crazy, but do it. So he was telling them, you guys are crazy, basically. Like, what are you guys doing? So she's like, no. My fathers, my ancestors, they used to do this. We're gonna do this. So Sulaiman tells, okay, all right, you know what? Plan B. He tells his jinn and everybody around him, says, build a huge building made out of glass. Do you see that glass, this glass? He said, grab those and build a full building like this masjid, all of it from glass. And you see this hallway? He said, the hallway, I want it to be made out of water. And put all of the sea animals in this hallway. And at the end of it, put my throne, Sulaiman says. And they did it within less than 3 days. Burj Khalifa, the tallest building right now, took for like 10, 20 years, I think, to finish building, construction, all of that. He made something even fancier than Burj Khalifa in less than 3 days. Just letting you see the miracle. So she saw that, she was amazed. And when she came, she lifted her dress so she can walk through the water. And she was amazed. She was like, okay, you know what? I'm converted to Islam. This is not normal. This man speaks truth. So she converted and she became the wife of Sulaiman alayhi salam. And he sent her to Yemen and he let her rule Yemen under his own kingdom. And he built 3 major palaces there in Yemen, Sulaiman alayhi salam. The palace of Al-Ghamadan, the palace of Salhin, and the palace of Baytun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ووهبنا لداود سليمان نعم العبد إنه أواب إذ عرض عليه بالعشي الصافنات الجياد فقال إني أحببت حب الخير عن ذكر ربي حتى توارت بالحجاب ردوها علي فطفق مسحا بالسوق والأعناق ولقد فتنا سليمان وألقينا على كرسيه جسدا ثم أناب قال رب اغفر لي وهب لي ملكا لا ينبغي لأحد من بعدي إنك أنت الوهاب فسخرنا له الريح تجري بأمره رخاء حيث أصاب والشياطين كل بناء وغواص وآخرين مقرنين في الأصفاد هذا عطاؤنا فامنن أو أمسك بغير حساب. So Sulaiman alayhi salam, he left for around 40 days and then he came back renovating Al-Quds, Bayt al-Maqdis. Have we heard about Haykal Sulaiman? Haykal Sulaiman, anybody? Solomon Temple, Haykal Sulaiman. Did you hear about it? Haykal Sulaiman. Okay. We all know about Palestine, right? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala liberate Palestine. And we all know about the Zionists who are occupying Palestine. So the Zionists, they're digging beneath Al-Quds, beneath Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. We know Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, right? He's digging beneath Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. They're digging beneath Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa because they believe that there is Haykal Sulaiman, Ma'bad Sulaiman beneath it, which is a place of worship that was built by Sulaiman alayhi salam. In fact, Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa is Ma'bad Sulaiman, so they're stupid. They think they're trying to get the temple. First of all, you can't, logically, you can't get out of a building from beneath, right? It's going to be destroyed, right? Logically, right? Imagine, I don't know, imagine you have a building beneath the floor. You dig the building, all right? It's beneath the floor. How are you going to get this thing out into the surface? You have to actually destroy it and take it out. So you have to rebuild it, all right? So the Zionists are stupid for that, number one. Number two, in fact, the temple they're searching for is the thing they want to destroy. So the Zionists right now, the thing they are looking for, digging for, they actually want to destroy it, which is Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. And Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, as we said, it was built by Yaqub alayhi salam, but Sulaiman re-innovated it. You know, hassana, jammala. So Sulaiman alayhi salam, after that, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "I'tini mulkan la yanbaghi li ahadin min ba'di." Oh Allah, make me a king and give me kingdom that you never would give to anybody after me. Nobody would have what I had. I'm the best king that I will ever be in humanity. So Sulaiman alayhi salam, he had around more than 100,000 horses. From each horse there was a type. He had white horse, black horse, red horse, big horse, small horse, each type of a horse. And he had a rare type that does not exist anymore. Do you know unicorns? Yeah, unicorns. So Sulaiman had something similar to unicorns. He had horses that had wings. Yeah, I know. So Sulaiman had horses that have wings. He would ride those horses and they would fly. Okay? So one time Sulaiman, he was walking with his many horses, with the horses with wings, he was flying, and he forgot about praying. So he delayed the prayer. And then he remembered. So he took off from the horses And he told his army, nobody rides the horse no more. And he does not want to have the horses anymore. He said, I don't want those horses anymore because they made me forget about praying. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him. And he said, I mean, you still need to transport, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the wind. Is that normal for you guys? He let him ride the wind. The wind. So he rides the wind like if he's riding a horse, basically. And it takes him to wherever he wants. So Sulaiman, and this is literally mentioned, by the way. This is I'm not joking around. This is literally mentioned. This is his story. This is what he used to do. Sulaiman's daily routine. He wakes up in Damascus. He eats his lunch in Istakhr in Iran. So he wakes up in Syria. He eats his lunch in Tehran, in Iran, and he sleeps in Afghanistan. Yeah, because the wind would lift his palace with whatever his palace had, horses, animals, birds, army, people, everything, jinn. It would be lifted and would take him all the way to Syria. Then it would take him all the way to, with the palace, with everything. Imagine that. All the way into Iran, and then all the way into Afghanistan, Kabul, Afghanistan. This is his daily routine. So imagine that. So one time, Sulaiman got bored from all of these places he would go through. So he had a falcon, Saqr, and he told him, hey, listen, take me to the best place in the whole entire world, something that is very beautiful I've never seen in my whole entire life. So the falcon tells him, okay, how about me? Let's go. We're going to go on an adventure. All right? So he flies and he takes him all the way into a place. Remember his request? What was the request of Sulaiman? He said, I want you to take me to the most beautiful place, right? He flies him all the way and he takes him into a desert, a place full of rock and, you know, all sand and all of that. So Sulaiman tells the falcon, he tells him, I told you to take me to the best place, not the worst place. Okay? So the falcon tells him, this is the best place. Sulaiman tells him, what's your logic here? I don't see what you're trying to progress here. I told you take me to the best place, not the worst place. So the falcon tells him, this is where I was born. For me, this is the best place. So this shows you that homeland is something very beautiful to the human heart, no matter how much, you know, if you are born in a desert, but then you go to Switzerland or Vienna. Vienna is called heavens on earth, Jannatullahi fil ard, and you see all of those waterfalls and, you know, beautiful fields. You're gonna like it, but you're still gonna think that your country, no matter how bad it is, it's always the best to you. The same logic this falcon had. So Sulaiman applauded the falcon. Last time when I was talking about the story of Dawood, I talked about, do you remember, Brother Musa? I talked about the two children, right? Remember the two women who came with the children. In fact, it was during Dawood. So what happened is there were two ladies. Each lady had a child, an infant. And then a wolf came and ate one of the infants. So the lady told the other, she said, no, this is my child. So the lady said, no, the remaining one is my child. Your child is the one who was eaten. So we will refer to them as the elder lady and the young lady. So they went to Dawood alayhi salam. And then Dawood said, the elder lady gets the child. But the younger lady is still not content. She thinks that that's her child. So when Dawood died, they went to Sulaiman. There's the connection. So I was confused last time. So there's the connection. Then they went to Sulaiman alayhi salam. And they told Sulaiman, such and such happened, and I think this is my child. So Sulaiman says, you know what? You guys are going to give me a headache. Give me a knife. Let's cut this infant in half. You're going to take a half, and you're going to take a half. Okay? That sounds fair, right? So the young woman, She goes screaming. She's like, no, no, don't kill him. He's my child. So Sulaiman said, okay, take him. Clearly that's her child. Because the elder woman, she did not run for the child. Mothers, they have this instinct within them. They know that there's their child. And if this is not their child, they're not going to be as scared as that woman was. So she ran for her child. She ran to the rescue of her child. All right? Okay. Sulaiman alayhi salam, one of the things he was given, all of the jinn, as I said, they were beneath him. They will obey him. And they would gather to him whatever he wanted. He had jinn that would dive deep into the sea and get the jewels and the precious things beneath from the bottom sea. He had who would fly and get whatever he wants from the space. You think the Apollo landing was the first time in space? No, it was way back on Sulaiman. So he had everything he wanted. They would gather the material for building and build something in less than 3 days. He would have structures not as great, but better than Burj Khalifa or all those, statues over there or pyramids or something like that. He would have this built in less than 3 days. So, and they would make, statues and such. He also had 1,000 wives. Sulaiman had 1,000 wives. Okay, so one time, and that's a moral story for us, Sulaiman said, I will make 70 of my 1,000 wives pregnant in one night. And so he went, and he said that because he wants the children who are going to be born from those 70 wives, he said, I want them to become soldiers, mujahideen fi sabilillah. I want them to become soldiers for my kingdom. But he forgot to say inshallah. So he went to those 70, all right? But he never got any of them pregnant. Only one got pregnant, and the infant died before he was even born because he forgot to say inshallah. The Prophet ﷺ says about this, if he had said inshallah, he would have had those soldiers. 70, and some narrations of the hadith says 100. So look at how strong this man was. Look at how much of his precious things and kingdom he has. He owned the whole world. He was the ruler of the whole world. Also, so we talked about how he used to lead. Okay, so do you see how precious the life of Sulaiman was? Why is everybody not shaking his head? Okay, do you see how precious his life was? Yes? Are you guys with me? Are you guys awake or sleeping? Was this a boring one? No? He had horses with wings. Yeah? Yeah, I mean, instead of watching Aladdin, you can read stories of Sulaiman and see the wonderful thing he had. In fact, that's a side note for you. The story of Aladdin. You know, the flying carpet, right? The magic carpet and all of that. And the genie. All of this actually was inspired by the story of Sulaiman. The one who wrote Alf Layla and Layla, 1,000 of Nights. This was inspired by the story of Sulaiman. So, Sulaiman's time has come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَمَّا قَضَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْمَوْتَ مَا دَلَّهُمْ عَلَى مَوْتِهِ إِلَّا دَابَّةُ الْأَرْضِ تَأْكُلُ مِنْ سَأَتَهُ فَلَمَّا خَرَّ تَبَيَّنَتِ الْجِنُّ أَنْ لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ الْغَيْبَ مَا لَبِثُوا فِي الْعَذَابِ الْمُهِينِ. All right, so Sulaiman lived for 53 years. 53 years. Beautiful 53 years, right? Anybody would, I'm being honest. Wallahi. I was preparing for this lecture. I was reading. And I was going through many details, as much details as possible. I was like, oh my God, this man lived the life. He was happy with his palace. The wind takes him whatever he wants. He had horses that had wings. He was married to 1,000 women. I mean, the limit for us is 4 women. Like, he was living the life, right? He's gonna have a good ending, right? He's gonna have a beautiful funeral, and when he dies, everybody's gonna. Okay, how did he die? Sulaiman, he used to go to Bayt al-Maqdis, al-Masjid al-Aqsa, and he used to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has his own time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he used to have drinks and food. So he used to do what we call today i'tikaf in the masjid. So every time Sulaiman alayhi salam, he would wake up, there is a plant that would grow. So Sulaiman asks this plant each morning, there's a plant that would grow. He would ask the plant, what's your name? It would tell him, my name is such. What's your task? Why did you grow up? It would tell him, well, I grew up because I will be a cure. Oh, I grew up because I'm going to be a plant for decoration of the land. So one time, Sulaiman woke up. He was worshiping Allah in Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. And he woke up. And by the way, those trees would grow in Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. So he woke up and he found a tree. And he tells this tree, what's your name? The tree says, Al-Kharuba. So Sulaiman says, what's your task? She says, I am the destruction of this house. So Sulaiman realizes, oh, it did not mean the destruction of Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, but the destruction of my kingdom, which means I'm gonna die. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised me that my kingdom is not gonna fall as long as I'm alive. So he told the angel of death, before I die, let me know. So the angel said, man, this is a hard request. I can't do it. I don't even know myself. So the angel of death does not know who is going to die in the future. Al-ilm, ilmul ghayb, inda Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Knowing what did not come yet, only Allah knows that. The reason why Sulaiman told the angel of death that in the first place was because al-jinn, they were telling the humans, they were saying, we know al-ghayb, we know that what is hidden. So Sulaiman wanted to prove that they were liars. And there's a lot of things that were going on. The jinn said Sulaiman was a black magician. He used black magic. But in fact, the jinn are the ones who would use black magic. And this is going to affect Judaism. We're going to see that. So Sulaiman told the angel of death that, and the angel of death said, I don't know. The day in which somebody's going to die, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells me the name and where, and then I'll go. So the day in which Sulaiman would die came, and before an hour, the angel of death approached him and he told him, you're going to die after an hour. You have 1 hour. So Sulaiman tells the jinn and the humans and all of his creatures, all the creatures in his kingdom, he said, build a huge building made out of glass, but don't make a door. I don't want you to have a door there, so nobody comes in, nobody goes out. And then he carved this tree and made a staff out of it. And then he sat and he put his head on the staff, and the angel of death came and he took his soul. He died. So the jinn, they would walk, and nobody would dare stare at Sulaiman, because they know if they stare at Sulaiman, they would be burnt. So they would walk and they would see him from the building. He's still like this. So they think he's alive. All right? And there was an order that nobody goes into the building, or else they are gonna be burnt. So for a whole year, everybody thought Sulaiman is alive. And the jinn were still saying, oh, we know al-ghayb, we know what's hidden, right? Scaring the humans. One time, the jinn were walking, and then one of the jinn, he fell, like he tripped and he fell. And he fell into the glass building, and he said, wait a minute, I was not burnt. What's going on? And he looks, and there's this small insect was eating the staff, and the staff became so light that it fell down, and Sulaiman's body fell to the ground. So this man was shocked, and he goes outside, he says, Sulaiman died. So the humans knew, oh, you guys are liars, you don't know what's hidden. If you know what's hidden, you would have known that Sulaiman died. And those who were, the jinn who were in jail or in prison, they would break free. And the jinn who were working for him, they would break free from serving Sulaiman. And Sulaiman alayhi salam died. All right, let me check out before. Okay, we don't have time to continue anything else, but before we finish, if you look at the board here, did I forget to bring? Can everybody see? Can you guys see? After Sulaiman's death, Sulaiman had a child. His name is Rahba'an. I know Israelis had weird names. All right, so okay, so Sulaiman's kingdom's capital was around here in Al-Quds, Palestine. So after Sulaiman's death, Sulaiman had a child, right? Rahba'an. We said that there are 12 tribes for Bani Israel. 2 of the tribes, the tribe of Binyamin and Yehuda, they gathered and said, we are going to make Rahba'an, the son of Sulaiman, the king of the United Hebrew Kingdom, which was like they ruled the whole world, but like their main territory that like they lived in was all of this, Bilad al-Sham, basically. And specifically around Palestine. But then 10 of those tribes, the rest of the tribes said, no, we're going to let, his name is Riba'an. I know it's very similar. Riba'an, Yerba'an, the son of Nabat. So we have Yerba'an and Rahba'an. Yerba'an is going to be the king. And this man, he is from the tribe of Ephraim, who is the son of Yusuf. So he's from the tribe of Yusuf alayhi salam. So the 10 tribes and the 2 tribes, they fought. They said, no, we're going to make Yerba'an. The other guy said, no, Rahba'an. So the 2 tribes, Binyamin and Yehuda, they took over Al-Quds, Quds in Palestine. And the land was divided. The people who supported Yerba'an, they went northwards to where Nablus is, which is close to Al-Quds, right, in Al-Daffa, in the West Bank today. All right? By the way, it's called the West Bank because it is west of the Jordan River, not because Palestine only needs to be in the West Bank and Gaza, not because of that. Okay, let's just clear this out. All right? They call this place As-Samira. So they were known as As-Samiriyun. And if you go to Palestine, inshallah, we all go to Palestine, inshallah, they still exist till this day, As-Samiriyun. They're Jews, they still exist till this day. And they had their kingdom, and it was called the Northern Hebrew Kingdom, Al-Mamlaka Al-Ibriya Al-Shamaliyya. And then the people who said Rahba'an, the son of Sulaiman, is going to be the king, they ruled from Al-Quds, and they had the Southern Kingdom. And they called it Mamlakat. Guess what it is? Guess the name. No. Yehuda. Hence, the name of the religion. Jewish. Judaism. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran? Inna ad-dina 'inda Allahi al-Islam. They were Muslims. But when they got divided, the people from the outside said, the people of the north, by the way, they stopped worshiping. They're not Muslim. They stopped worshiping Allah. They started worshiping idols. And they lasted only 250 years. They were crushed by the Assyrian leader. His name is not Syrian, Assyrian, Ashuri. His name is Sargon al-Thani. He crushed this kingdom. He completely crushed it. We're going to talk about that in details next time. But he completely crushed this kingdom. And this kingdom remained only 400 years. All right, the kingdom of Judah, Yehuda. So the outsiders, they would call the people who are there, who remained on the religion of Judaism or the religion of Islam, they would call them Yahudiyin. And Yehuda comes from the tribe that was ruling, because Dawood and Sulaiman, they are from the tribe of Yehuda. So they called them Yehudiyin, and hence the term Yehudi. All right? That clarifies a lot of things. In fact, modern Zionists, they say, we are the descendants of Yehuda. They are the descendants of Yehuda. Are they though? No. I mean, really, are you going to convince me that this white with blue eyes and blonde hair, and he comes from Russia or Germany or whatever, and his ancestors left there for like maybe more than 2,000 years, and he just learned Hebrew and he can't even pronounce it right? All right? They can't even pronounce Hebrew right. It's called, Hebrew, in Hebrew, it's called Ibret. 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 It's called Ibret. Ibret. Ain, Ba, Rosh, Yet, and Yod, and Ta. Ibret. They pronounce this Ivret. Ivret. A is A. Ba is Va. They pronounce Ivret. If you go to someone who's not Arab, go to a white American and tell him to say, my name is Riyad. Tell him to say Riyad. What is he going to say? Giyaf, right? Exactly. Yeah, unless he does not even mess it up and he says Giyas, right? So those guys are called Ashkenazim. The modern Zionists, they're Ashkenazi Jews. All right? They were Slavic, Germanic people who converted to Judaism and became Jews, and now they claim that this is their land. And it's a false claim. Because they are not even connected with anybody who's there. Where are the Israelites today? You say? The Arab Jews are the Israelites. And even those guys, they're mixed. Not all of them descend from Ishaq. Some of them actually descend from Yemenite tribes. One of them is, I think, Banu Qurayza. During the Prophet ﷺ, they were Yemenites. They do not descend from Ishaq. I mean, the question that answers all of this, is every Muslim Arab? No? Yeah, right? So not every Muslim is Arab. Hence, not every Christian is Palestinian or Aramic. And not every, not every Jew is an Israelite. All right, let's stop here. I think I took so much time with explaining all of that. It's time for Salah. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك بكم. Let's do dua. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي بالحق وإنه لا يقضى عليك وإنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا أبدا ما أحييتنا واجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا ولا تسلط علينا من لا يرحمنا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أكرمنا بالصلاة في المسجد الأقصى يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أكرمنا في الصلاة في المسجد الأقصى فاتحين محررين منتصرين غالبين وعليك بأعدائك أعداء الدين يا أرحم الراحمين وبمن عاونهم. اللهم اجعل القرآن ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء همومنا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك بكم. I know today maybe was boring. Was it boring? No? No. Okay, it was not boring. Thank God. Next time it's not going to be boring, inshallah, for sure. For sure. Next time we're gonna have more crazy stories. Okay, inshallah, we're gonna discuss this in detail for those who are interested in the history of the Israelites and how it came to be all of that. We're gonna discuss this in detail. So spread the word. Make sure to come, inshallah.